The crowd didn't know it yet, but the world was seconds away from witnessing a moment that would be told and retold for generations, a moment that felt less like baseball and more like destiny choosing its stage. In the electric glow of Loandapat Park, something shifted in the air. It wasn't just noise, or pressure, or national pride. It was the rare silence that exists only before history is born. Shohei Ohtani walked toward the mound, and the stadium held its breath as if afraid to disturb the invisible thread pulling him toward this showdown. He wasn't just entering the ninth inning. He was walking into a legend. On the other side of that thread, Mike Trout tightened his batting gloves. He didn't look nervous. He looked ready, as if his entire career had been preparing him for this one swing, this one duel, this one impossible moment. The world had dreamed of it. Scripts had teased it. Fans had imagined it with animated edits, slow-mo fantasies, and hypothetical battles. But now it was real. Two superstars, two teammates, one championship hanging between them like a sword waiting to fall. Japan led by 1 run, but it felt like nothing. Against Team USA, a single heartbeat could erase a lead. A single swing could rewrite everything. Ohtani exhaled once, hard, the breath of someone releasing the weight of expectation. The kind of exhale a warrior gives before stepping into the arena. Trout rolled his shoulders and looked up at Ohtani with that unmistakable Trout calm, cool, deadly, and unshakably confident. He wasn't facing a teammate tonight. He was facing a force of nature. The commentators could barely contain themselves. Their voices shook with excitement, with disbelief, with the raw, trembling electricity of realizing they were narrating a moment that would outlive even their own careers. Ohtani kicked the dirt. Trout tapped the plate, and the stadium seemed to shrink, collapsing into a tight tunnel containing only 2 men and a destiny. The first pitch came in like a blur, a fastball exploding into the catcher's glove at 100 miles per hour. The sound echoed like a gunshot through the park. Trout didn't swing. He just stared, measured, studied, calculated. It was the look of a man downloading information. Ohtani didn't celebrate the strike. He simply nodded, as if telling himself, good. He saw it. Now show him something else. The second pitch cut across the zone with wicked movement, a slider that seemed to bend reality for a moment. Trout lunged, and missed. The crowd erupted, half in shock, half in anticipation. The duel wasn't just great, it was turning mythical. Trout stepped out of the box, exhaling sharply. For the first time all night, he looked human. Not defeated, just aware. Aware of the monster standing 60 feet away. Ohtani paced behind the mound, gripping the ball like it was alive. He wasn't smiling. And he wasn't blinking. He looked like a man trying to control a storm inside himself. The atmosphere thickened until it felt heavy enough to touch. Fans pressed their hands to their mouths. Some whispered prayers. Some stood frozen, unable to process the magnitude of what they were witnessing. Then came the third pitch, another slider, diving away like it was terrified to be hit. Trout chased it, and for a second the entire world leaned forward. He missed again, but he fouled it. Barely. A shred of contact. A reminder that Mike Trout wasn't done yet. Not even close. Ohtani wiped his face with his sleeve, and for one fleeting moment, he looked tired. Human. Vulnerable. But that vulnerability lasted only an instant before he snapped back into his otherworldly composure. Trout dug in again, jaw clenched, eyes narrowed. He knew he was one pitch away from striking out. One pitch away from ending the dream, but also one pitch away from flipping the script. Ohtani stared in, as if looking through the catcher and directly into Trout's soul. The next pitch screamed toward the plate, another triple-digit fastball. Trout unleashed the full fury of his swing. The stadium gasped. He missed. But the ball ricocheted off the catcher's glove and skipped to the backstop. A foul tip. No. A ball in play. No. Just a slip. A reminder that nerves were everywhere, even behind the plate. The tension tightened, became suffocating. Even people watching from home felt their palms sweating. Ohtani closed his eyes for just a fraction of a second. He looked like a man trying to center himself, trying to summon something deeper than skill, something primal, ancient, heroic. Trout's face hardened. That look, the look of a man who's been punched, but refuses to fall. The duel wasn't baseball anymore. It was a myth unfolding in real time. The hero against the dragon. The unstoppable force against the unmovable object. Then Ohtani signaled. He knew what he wanted. He knew what this moment demanded. He raised his glove. The catcher braced. Trout set his feet. And Ohtani unleashed it, the pitch that would echo across sports history. A slider that didn't just break. It vanished. It disappeared into another dimension and came back meaner, sharper, crueler than anything Trout had seen all night. Trout swung. He cut through nothing but air. The stadium detonated. Ohtani roared, a primal, explosive, soul-rattling cry that came from somewhere deeper than victory. It came from pride, from sacrifice, from years of dreaming of a moment just like this. Trout froze for a second, then nodded subtly, the nod of a warrior acknowledging another warrior's greatness. No excuses. No frustration. Just respect. Japan stormed the field. Ohtani's teammates tackled him, lifted him, drowned him in a sea of joy and disbelief. They weren't just celebrating a win, they were celebrating a miracle. The camera caught Ohtani and Trout as they crossed paths. No words were exchanged. They didn't need them. Their duel had said everything. The commentators shouted themselves breathless, trying to capture it, trying to frame it, trying to explain it. But how do you explain a moment that feels like destiny itself stepped onto the field? Fans cried. Players cried. Even neutral viewers felt something awaken inside them, a reminder that sports, at its best, is a living storybook. In that final at-bat, people didn't just watch baseball. They watched courage collide with destiny. They watched two superstars tear the sky open and show the world what greatness truly looks like. The final image of the night was Ohtani holding the trophy, but looking humble, almost overwhelmed, as if even he couldn't fully comprehend what he had just done. It was more than a strikeout. More than a championship. More than a highlight. It was a moment that will be replayed, retold, reimagined for decades, a modern myth carved in real time. And long after the cheers faded, long after the stadium emptied, long after the world went to sleep, one truth remained. When destiny called, Shohei Ohtani answered. And Mike Trout, the only man worthy of that moment, made the duel unforgettable. History wasn't written that night.